shy on words, but that
man. I mean,
this is kind of what the journey is
yeah.
about, man.
But see, that's what we get back to the journey. Like I said, it was almost like I ran away from it for so long, and but every album, like I promised, Lord,
kept your promise.
I always will. Every album I ever do will always have an inspirational song or something honoring God, Christ, Holy Spirit.
And you're honoring Him, man, with your life, honoring Him with your gift. You're not just following your passion; you followed your gift.
Yes, and He will, like I said, He will
make room for
your gift
all
the time.
Yes.
And people don't, you got to know that, because if you're passionate about it, He will provide make provision for your vision. But the journey also, like I said, I mean, that was like something I wanted to do for a long time, but every time I would, find something else to do.
But you still was running. You don't want to do all that, right?
Like I said, it was like I call it my Jonah syndrome.
Right.
I kind of ran away
I know
from
the
it,
feeling, man.
And and so finally, this lady, and plus, wanted to do it in the right, put it in the right soil, in the right, plant the seed in the right soil. That was another thing. Finally, this lady, Raina Bundy, she came with a good deal, distributed with through Red, that was distributed through Sony at the time, and so and plus she's a writer and spiritual and the whole thing, and so when she came and she approached me, some other people that approached me through the years about doing it, but I just wasn't feeling it. But when she approached me, it was like a good feel, a good mix, a good, I knew where she was coming from spiritually, and we started on that thing, man, and I mean, from the very beginning of Mercy, the tune Mercy, and I mean, on my knees, my mama cried.
Man, we could
come when you want.
At Potter's houses.
Potter's house. Yeah, everybody thought it was
Bishop James.
Right. But no, that was just this cat Tony Prendat. He produced that.
When we play it, they get, is that Bishop James cut? I said, no, that's Howard Hewett. Howard got a gospel album. Is it new?
Hey man, that album is a lot of years, but it's so current. And everybody always approached me about doing another one, but you don't just do those albums just to do, because it's not about making a lot of money.
Right. Yeah.
And, but thank God, Journey made some money, but it's not. But that's not what it was about. It was about honoring God. Right.
And when you're doing that, man, I know when we were going to do this interview, I was praying about direction. What are we going to talk to Howard? We've talked on and off what we're going to do, and I think the Holy Spirit has led you today to minister to some people.
Good.
For them to hear Howard Hewitt's other side. They don't get a chance to see. They see the natural part. They don't get a chance to know that there's a spiritual foundation. And I think wherever there's a spiritual foundation, you can count on longevity. You can count on God doing some things that people say, well, how come this happens to this guy and that happens to another guy? Well, they don't know it's because you're walking with him.
You're walking with him. Like a lot of people go, well, you should be here, you should be there, I said, no. We are all where we're supposed to be. Everybody, we're all where we're supposed to be. We are, and we are direct byproducts of the decisions and the choices that we make in life. And wherever you are, those are because of the choices that you've made. Whether those choices are bad, whether they're good, it's like I never.
It looks like you made some good choices.
I praise the Lord.
No.
I mean, I made some bad choices.
There's no perfection there, but our good choices keep us as the dominant thought that we live with, man.
Yeah, I mean that's but I know that whatever I do, just like when I'll say something, sometimes I'll say, well, hey, I just leave it in the hands, Lord, and in the Lord's hands, rather. I'll leave it in the Lord's hands, and just have Him guide me. well, and then somebody said to me one time, well, you can't just, can't just like lay back and let. I said, dude, you don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the most active act I can do, because I'm not saying just lay back, leave it right there. I'm saying that I'm leaving it in the Lord's hands, and I'm believing and I'm having faith that the Holy Spirit is guiding the steps and the decisions that I'm making as far as whatever this whole situation is about. So that's the most action you can take when you make a decision like that. So yeah,
I don't have to ask, man, what's the future hold for Howard Hewett? I already know who holds the future, but what are some of Howard's current plans, man?
Just having a good time. I'm having a good time.
It's still fun.
It's still
enjoying
fun.
yourself.
I'm still enjoying. I'm still having a great time. I started hat line, right? My hat line.
All right, let's get busy.
And started out with 2 hats, and just a fall, winter type of.
Well, to keep me in mind.
I know, exactly. I'll send you the whole thing and let you look at it. But doing that, really, I'm finally taking the solo situation over to overseas, over to England. I go over there on the 3rd. I leave here on the 3rd of March, 3rd of next month, and gonna go do a few shows over there. Then I go back in May. Like I said, I still do Shalimar with Jeffrey and Carolyn. Go back there in the middle of May, all the way through the middle towards the end of June. And new music. There's some new music out there. You gotta get well, there's a tune called "You Are the One" that's out there currently now. Yeah, and that I had a great honor and opportunity to work with Leon Silvers again. Our old producer. He do Second Time Around, Make That Move Harder. And so we got together. Every time I work with Leon, it's like going to school, because whatever the Howard Hewett sound is, quote unquote Howard Hewett sound, he had a lot to do with developing that sound when I was in that the beginning of my recording days. The beginning of the recording days was with Shalimar, when I first started with Shalimar. So he had a lot to do with developing that. So it was like going back to school with him, going to the studio. So that's how my son and I, Christopher, my son, he's an amazing musician, and wow. he and I, when I was laid up at the house with this, I mean, man, Bishop, man, it drove me crazy. Just lay in the bed for like almost 2 weeks. I was like, oh man, I'm going crazy.
Well, you didn't gain weight and all that. You still in
no.
If I stay in bed 2 weeks eating, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Well, you gotta change up your diet and stuff with that type of thing, because you can't eat the stuff that you usually eat.
You laying up, right?
And so, you
hear that, Les?
so you kind of change up, But in the meantime, though, my son, he works with this company in Nashville. He moved to Nashville a few years ago. Amazing musician. I always tell people, man, if I was even just half the musician that Christopher is, I'd be like, who, where, what, And but he had to come into town, and they have this thing called NAM every year. He helps develop new recording equipment and stuff. So he had to come in and do that. And when he finished that, then he came over to the house, and we flew his writing partner in that he writes with in Nashville. And they had written like about 3 or 4 tunes just for me, And so we set up everything in the office at the upstairs of the house, and brought all the cables and set the microphone up in my bedroom, and went to town. So the stuff we did is turned out amazing. He's putting some mixes on it. We're gonna put out maybe an EP on it, with that plus some other stuff that we did a few years ago. And Just working, man. I love working. I love working. It's like you said, it's still fun, and it's still interesting, and
Still get to meet people.
yeah, still meeting people and breaking new ground and all that kind of stuff. And
Everybody run around hollering how many members of their family you helped develop. They love going back in the day, man, and blame it, So,
you don't know how many times, Cassie, man.
Right.
You really helped me out, man. When you helped me out, I said, man, I'm glad to have been of service to you, my brother. So, but that type of thing, still meeting people, still, just having a good time, just thanking God.
Howard Hewett, I want to thank you, man, for taking the time out. I'm on a busy schedule. Let me tell you what I love about this guy. You can call. I'm not telling you to do it, but I can do it. We can call him up and he's going to answer the phone. He's going to say this. It's just the personal side.
Yeah.
So what we're hearing and seeing is so genuine. And I'm not just saying that because you're a friend, but I'm just saying it's genuine, man.
And I always believe, we're all in this thing together.
And that's a good thing. Because, if I didn't have these shades on, you probably see my tears when you were talking about mom. And,
yeah.
I totally understand that, man. I'm in the gospel portion of radio because my dad was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And for years he had a show called Hello Sunshine.
Okay.
So he played gospel with him, Reverend Cleophas Robinson, James, all the people.
Cleophas
So
Robinson,
we all grew up in the same vein. And he was the SON. And so when my gospel part came along, I heard him say to me, I want you to carry this to be the SUN.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, SON.
The SON.
And so now the SUN is wrapped up at the SON.
There you go.
One of the biggest songs on there is Journey. So so we love that. So on behalf of Hello Sunshine Network, man, on Mix 995, the heart and soul of St. Louis. And I gotta say this, the less CEO show, your Les show.
Yeah, the Les show.
Right. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
Thank you for your friendship. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
You
I look
too.
forward to
You
seeing
too.
hearing you tonight,
And
when you hit that say amen, don't hit no chair.
Every
Because I know it's gonna be special. I can feel.
Yeah. Every show ends with say amen. If I don't end with say amen, it's because it's a specialty thing or whatever that's going on where they want a couple of songs. But whenever I don't end with say amen, it just feels
Like
he
left something at home.
Yeah, exactly. So, whatever.
Howard Hewett, thank you, man.
God bless.
Well, baby.